You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth! I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom.
So, hello, this is The Truth About Men, the show where I give you the truth about men and why we do the weird, wacky things that we do. And I'm right here with my ex, Marianiki, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk to you about a situation that a friend of mine was in. So I will give my thoughts and maybe you can offer some feedback as well. So she was out in Bali and she went to a place called Sevilla, right? Sevilla is like the coolest club in Bali. If you live in Bali, everyone who is anyone goes to Sevilla, right? All of the movers and shakers and the people, the creme de la creme of Bali, they go to Sevilla. And it's like a beautiful place. It's the club itself is on a coastline and you're quite high up and you can see the sea all around and you see like the sun setting and there's girls in bikinis and everybody's tanned and gorgeous and the men are just like ripped and whatnot, and it's like,
it's a cool place.
it's sexy. Now the point, okay, you want me to move on?
Yes.
Okay. So the point is that she's there and she meets this man, and this man is really into her. She's not really into him, but he's really into her. And he's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, you're amazing, you're sexy, and I want to take you home, or this, that, and the other. And he's trying as hard as he can to get with her, doing everything in his freaking power. And she kind of goes along with it, but there's another guy who she really wanted. And I don't know if that guy was in the club that night or if he wasn't, but there's another guy that she really wanted. She didn't really want this guy, but this guy's showing her attention, and also it was a really great night. So again, she kind of goes along with it. And I guess there must be dancing. Maybe they have a bit of a kiss or something like that. And you know, like when a man is really trying to get with you and he like hangs around and he's buying you and your friends drinks and stuff. And it's like, this guy wants you. And you keep him around because I guess he's doing just enough for you to not tell him to piss off. Yeah? Okay, cool.
Well, you have to be kind of attracted to him as well.
Well, of course.
I mean, if you're not and he does all this stuff, it's like, you're very cute, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of attracted. No, but the night itself was really beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was an amazing night. She ends up outside the club with him because I guess at some point the club ends. And I can't remember how far they go. Like, they go somewhere. Like, let's say for argument's sake the club ends and they go to like a chip shop for food or something like that. And then when that happens, bearing in mind that this guy's been telling her how much he wants her and how much he wants to take her home, she realizes that she's not feeling it anymore. You know? She says, like, once she left Sevilla, being the club, the mood all went away.
The vibe.
The vibe died, and she just wasn't feeling it, and then she just wanted to go. So I guess at that point, this guy's saying, hey, come back to my place, wherever his place might have been. And she's like, you know what, I actually just want to go home. And then he like lost his temper.
What?
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, he didn't get violent or anything, but he's angry, basically. He's like, I forget the specifics, but if my recollection is correct, it's like, you're wasting my time, you're messing me about, blah, 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 you're playing fucking games, go fuck yourself, essentially. That was the situation. So she's saying to me, what's going on there? Why is he doing that, etc. You want to hear what I think's going on?
Please.
All right. In that night, she was being passive to everything he was doing. So he's trying to get with her, and she's just there having a great night in Sevilla with this guy trying to get with her. But from his perspective, he's putting in a lot of work. Now, something I want to say is that when he lost his temper at her, he's not losing his temper at her per se. He's losing his temper for every time something like this has happened. He has put himself out. He's been trying to be witty all night, trying to come up with ways to be witty and to make her laugh. He's been trying to be sexy, but not too sexy that he scares her. He's probably bought her drinks. He's been trying to make her like him. Now, the thing is that, and I said this to her, for the most part, when a girl likes a guy, she's passive. So I said to her, like, If you liked everything, if you thought this guy was amazing, you would have been more or less just as passive as you were with him then. And she's like, oh yeah, I would have been. So the point is, from his perspective, it's very difficult to know, because he's like, oh, I really want to fuck you, right? So he says that. Or like, I want it. No, let me finish. So he says that. Now my point is, so he goes, oh, I really want to do this and this and this with you. I want to take you home. I want to give you a massage. I want to make you feel like a woman. In her head, she's like, oh, I don't really know how I feel about that. But outwardly, she's just passively going along with it. If she thought that was the sexiest talk on earth, she would still likely have passively gone along with it. From his perspective, it's tough to know the difference between I am just doing this because it's whatever and I am genuinely into you. She said that the mood of the evening in Sevilla, that was what did it for her. Like, she had a great night. It was beautiful. The beautiful people everywhere, fantastic music. Sevilla's kind of open so you can see the stars. That was a part of the appeal. Hold on, you look like you have something to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of annoyed, to be honest.
Okay, so that was part of the appeal. But then when they leave Sevilla, the energy is gone. That wasn't the case for him. The case for him was that he was there with this beautiful woman who was, from his perspective, was showing him more or less as much attention as a decent, upstanding woman who's not a quote-unquote slut is going to show you. So it's tough from his perspective to know when it's a yes or when it's a no, or when like someone doesn't really give a crap. You see what I mean? And he's been in situations like this many times in the past where he's tried and then he's been rejected. And the thing is, so when he's like losing his temper, like why is he losing his temper? Because fundamentally he feels unwanted, like he's not good enough. You know, like, here you are, you've given me everything you've got, but I just don't really give a shit. I'd rather go home and sleep.
It's one thing that I'm confused about, another thing that I'm annoyed.
Okay.
What do you want first?
Confusion.
When the girl chases the guy's lose interest.
Okay.
This is one thing. But also, looks like when somebody puts effort for the girl to take the girl has to react in a positive way. Why? I mean, he liked her and he was like, okay, I like this girl, I'm gonna buy her a drink, I don't know, dance with her, whatever. It's up to the girl to decide if she wants to continue the night or no. It doesn't mean that because he put the effort, the girl has to say, okay, because you put the effort, I'm coming with you to have sex with.
Of course she doesn't.
Yeah, but it sounds like girls are obligated.
No, he's not. If you have a man who is trying to impress you in a club and you go along with it, you are running the strong risk of letting him believe that you're into him. That's just the truth, because one thing that every man is aware of, or at least 95% of men are aware of, is that persistence works. So, I mean, we were talking about this yesterday where you've got like a married couple and the woman says, oh, you know, when I first met your father, I didn't think much of him, but he won me over. Men are aware of the fact that being persistent works. So don't get me wrong. A woman does not have to, of course she doesn't. If she don't want to go in with a guy, she doesn't have to. Never in a gazillion years am I saying that. But what I am saying is, when you're entertaining a guy's attention, you must realize that he's basically saying, hey, I'm interested. Are you interested? And the longer you keep him around without saying, just so we're clear, I'm not interested in you, the more he's like, oh, maybe I've got a chance. Maybe I've got a chance.
He met her that night, correct? Yeah. They spent maybe 4 hours together.
Yeah.
It's not like she wasted a month. And after a month, he said, oh, you know something, I don't want anything. It was like 4 hours.
I mean,
maybe 5, I don't know.
I mean, I agree. Like, I think the guy's being childish.
I believe that his reaction is wrong.
I mean, I don't believe his reaction is right, but I get it. because I coach guys like this, so I get where that comes from. I get the frustration of finding it hard to impress women who aren't trying to impress you. For instance, he walked up to her in the club and risked rejection. She didn't walk up to him. And that's his life experience, where if he just sits like this, he'll never have sex again ever for the rest of his life, or meet a girlfriend. And for that to happen, he has to do something which most people think is scary, which is put himself out there.
Yeah, but for the same time, when the girl start chasing the guy loses interest.
To what degree do you think that's true? Is that all men?
I don't know.
Because when I meet women that show me that they're into me, to be honest with you, I'm like, oh, thank you.
No. I'm not talking about.
Thank you.
I'm not talking about showing that she's into you. I mean about actually chasing. Like, I know people who, if a woman comes to the bar and buys him a drink, and she chases him that way, the guy will find it weird.
You know what?
So I'm really confused, A, and B, I believe that reaction was wrong.
But here's the thing. So, honestly, I think most guys would find that weird and be scared off by it.
So what do the guys want? They want to invest and at the same time take the girl?
No, but hold on, because it's a slightly different thing. Because while I do agree that most guys would find that weird, I think they would. And I agree that it is silly that most guys would find that weird, because it's the kind of thing that men actually fantasize about. It's still a slightly different thing, because what we're talking about here is her entertaining him while she wasn't interested.
But she didn't know if she was, as far as I understand. She was like, okay, I'm not sure about this guy, but I have good time with him. Maybe let's see how it goes. Because sometimes maybe the guy is not our type, but the way he behaves, or like maybe his mind, maybe he's too clever or something, can be attractive. So maybe she was like, let's see where it goes.
Yeah, probably.
And maybe by him getting angry, he destroyed the whole process.
From what she told me, she was basically done with him. It was like they leave the club. Basically, her attraction to him was more about the energy of the club rather than him. And then once that was gone, it's like, oh shit, it's actually just you. So I don't think you're right there. But fundamentally, if I was sitting here with this guy, if I was coaching this guy, I would never in a million years say you reacted the right way to that. Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear. Like, bro, grow up, be less childish. It's life. Women have the right to choose, blah, blah, blah. Of course. However, to answer the question of what was going on in the man's head, that's basically it. Which is that it's fear, it's insecurity, it's frustration. He's trying. He doesn't know, like, he's getting as much of a yes sign as he's ever likely to get, of course. And then, again, he's been buying the drinks. He's tried to make her friends laugh. She's left the club with him. He's probably got a friggin' hard on as well. He's like grinded against her and shit. He's like turned on. That's what's going on. The only way for a woman to guarantee that won't happen is just to tell a guy to leave immediately. Because the truth of it, like, the fact is, just literally rationally, that a guy's trying to get with you, if you don't specifically say, go away, I'm not interested, in his head, he's thinking, I'm in with a chance. And the longer you give him a chance, I'm in with a chance. And like, if he puts his arm around you and you don't stop that, I'm in with a chance. Maybe he steals a little kiss. I'm in with a chance. You see what I mean? And then you're just building up. There you go. So you don't have to chop it.
Okay.
Yeah? But there we go. So that was that. Thank you for watching The Truth About Men with me and the lovely Marianiki, whose contact details will be in the description. She's a yoga teacher and interior designer extraordinaire, aren't you?
Still a student.
Well, okay, but if you're watching this in like 2027.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
In 2022, I'm still a student.
I want to interrupt this video to let you know that I'm also an author. I'm not just a dating coach, but I'm also an author too. And I've written a book that I spent a ton of time working on. It is called Preeta's Web of Chaos, and it is a young girl's journey of transformation. Now, what happens is that she encounters some situations that are really hard for her to deal with. They scare her, they terrify her, they push her outside of her comfort zone. And as a result of dealing with these hardships, she learns to find a strength, a resilience, a courageousness, and a power inside her that she did not know actually existed. Like I said, I tried really hard with this book, and the reason why I write it is because I wrote it is because I love to write stories. It's the main thing that I want to do, and I just want to share my passion with the world. So if you could find it in your heart to give it a try, there's a link in the description. I'll just love you for life.